Good morning, my dear students. Students, in the previous class, we have done achievements of Bose model that we already know about the Bose model. Here, I would like to explain it once again or remind you people once again about the Bose model. What are the achievement of this one? That it explain hydrogen spectrum, and it also explains why hydrogen shows different lines although it has only one electron, because we know it can jump from one level to another level. The level may be from fourth to first, it may be fourth to second, it may be fourth to third. That's why it shows different range of spectrum. Now, here it also helps us to calculate the energy associated with electron in different energy level. So with the help of using different formulas, here we can calculate the energy. See here, we have the formula that En, where E is the energy associated with the different shell. N represent different shell. It may be first shell, second shell, whatever it may. So on the basis of different unit, here we have energy is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 8 into z square upon n square, where z is the atomic number of any of the element, and n is what? N is the number of electron, or sorry, n is the number of shell in which it is present. So here, for taking unit as joule per atom, this formula we have to use. If we will be taking it for electron volt per atom, then here we have to take it as minus 13.6 into z square upon n square. Electron volt per atom. For kilojoule per mole, it is minus 1312 into z square upon n square. So on the basis of different unit, we have to use the formula for calculating the energy associated with different energy level. Okay, now here whatever the negative sign given in about two formulas, here these negative sign shows the decrease of as the means shell is going on decreases, or the electron come near to the nucleus, the energy is going on decreases. It means the one which is having the far distance from the nucleus has more energy level as compared to the one which is nearer one. The next achievement which was given by Bose is, it also tells us about the method to calculate the radius. Radius means it is the distance of the electron from the nucleus, that is called as the radius, and the shell in which it is present. Okay, so here for calculating the radius of the electron from the nucleus, here once again he has given one formula, that is Rn. R is the radius, n in which shell it is present, is equal to n square h square upon 4 pi square m e square z, where h is Planck's constant. Here we have the fixed value for h. Pi is also constant. M is the mass. E is the charge of the electron, whatever the charge is present. So all over these we are having constant. So for these all constant, we are taking a term that is called to be as a naught, and here we are having one value for a naught. So it could be written as a naught n square upon z, because all the constant is taken as the same value. So here value of a naught is calculated as a naught is equal to 52.9. So here it could be written as Rn is equal to 52.9 into n square upon z. So how do we calculate if we are talking about an element like helium, and the electron of helium is present in the third orbit or third shell? So how do we calculate? Because we know that n is what? N is the orbit in which the electron is present, that is 3 is given, and z is what? It is the atomic number of an element. So here radius could be calculated as r3, because the value of n is 3, is equal to 52.9 into 3 square, because here n square is given in the formula. So 3 square, that is 9 upon z. Z is what? It is the atomic number of helium, and atomic number of helium is what? That is 2. So here finally, after calculation, here we got the value, this one, as 238.05 picometer. Okay, so here we know that the distance inside the atom, it is very small. That's why it is mostly calculated by taking the unit as picometer or nanometer. So here for picometer the value is like that. It can also be calculated by taking the value a naught in angstrom. If we are taking it this one as angstrom, then the value of a naught is taken as 0.52. If we are taking the value of a naught for nanometer, then it could be taken as 0.052 nanometer. So it depends on the unit whatever you will be taking. If you are taking picometer, then simply you can write 52.9. Okay. Next, another achievement of this Bose model, that it also help us to calculate the velocity of electron. Okay, velocity of electron can be calculated by taking formula mvr, where m is the mass, v is the velocity, r is the radius, is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Because here we have to calculate velocity, that's why we can also write this as v is equal to nh upon 2 pi mr. So with the help of this formula we can also calculate the velocity of an electron. Now, number of revolution made by the electron around the nucleus can be taken as v, that is velocity upon circumference. So here the circumference can be written that velocity upon 2 pi r. So this number of revolution which is taken by electron can also be calculated by mean of this formula. Next achievement, that it explained the spectrum of hydrogen. And to get the spectrum of hydrogen, here we should follow Rydberg's equation that already we have done in the previous class. Rydberg's equation, that is 1 lambda is equal to what is equal to nu, that is frequency is equal to 109677. This is the value of this nu is equal to 1 upon n1 square minus 1 upon n2 square, where n2 or n1 is what, n1 square or n2 square. N2 is the final shell in which the electron jumps, or n1 it is the initial in which electron is present. So like if the electron jumps from one energy level to another energy level, on the basis of this one we are getting different spectrum of hydrogen, because the jumping may be from different shell to from fourth shell to third shell directly, or fourth shell to first shell directly. So it is based on the different shell from which it jumps. Okay, because we know that whenever any of the electron they get extra energy, they become very excited and they jump from their own shell to the another shell. And after some time when it want to come back to its original shell once again, so whatever the energy it is absorbed, it has to lose this energy. So when they are going to lose the energy, then this energy falls into some visible range, and because of that we are getting some spectrum on the visual line. Okay, so these are the various achievement of Bose model that can be that we people have studied now. So after these theory, we have means for many of the years this theory were very well accepted, because many of the scientists came and they tried to read the theory which is given by Bose. So after some time, after many of the years, scientists found few of the drawbacks which were not explained by the Bose. So here now we have to go through the drawbacks or limitations, means the theories which were not explained by the Bose. So what are the drawbacks of this theory? So first, it could not account for the final detail of a spectrum of multi-electron system. That also no, because Bose explained the spectrum of only those elements which has only one electron in their shell. If any of the electron is having more than one electron in their shell, so it could not explain the spectrum of those elements. Okay, so this is the first drawback of Bose model. Second, it could not explain the Siemens effect. So here we have to know what you mean by Zeeman effect. So Zeeman effect, it is the splitting up of lines in hydrogen atom due to magnetic field. Whenever we are passing any of the light through the magnetic field, so what type of splitting it may shows, it could not be explained by Bose model. Next, it also could not explain the Stark effect. Stark effect, it is a effect whenever these lines is passed through the electric field on the spectrum. So what type of splitting it gives, it could not be explained by the Bose model. This is called to be a Stark effect. Now next is, it could not explain the directional characteristics of bonded atom. These bonded atom, or the detailed study of bonded atom, we will do in chapter number 4. Now, fifth one, and that is a very important drawback of this theory, that it could not explain the dual nature of matter. That is the de Broglie relationship and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. These two dual nature of matter, it is very important, and that we are going to discuss after this topic. That is also could not explained by Bohr's model. So whenever scientists gave any of the theory, their theories have to reveal in front of all the means world, in front of all, they have to sit and answer all the questions. If they are able to give the answer of everything which is asked by different scientists, then this theory is totally correct. But if any of the thing is like that which were not explained by any model, so these are taken as the drawback of those theory. So these are some points which could not be explained by Bose, so these comes as the limitations of Bohr. Now these things are explained by some other scientists, that we will do later. But here, before going to the de Broglie or Heisenberg uncertainty principle, here we have one more thing that I would like to tell you. But these things are not in your syllabus for this session. Then also you people should know about this nature of light and electromagnetic radiation. You see, what are these? Initially, when scientists they are taking light, or they thought that light is made up of very small particle that is called to be as capsules. Okay, and these capsules explain the particle nature of light. But most commonly, light shows all the properties of wave. Like we can take diffraction, we can take reflection or refraction and dispersion. These all theory are explained that light have wave nature. But it also shows some of the property which show that light have particle nature. Okay, so first we also know that wave have tendency to move, which is called to be as wave motion. Okay, like here we can take example, if we are throwing any of the pebble into the pond, so what happen here, some type of splitting or movement of molecules of water can be seen. Okay, so this shows the wave means motion of the wave. It is shown because wave are always in the motion. So here these all things are explained in terms of electromagnetic radiation. So first, what do you mean by electromagnetic radiation, that we will have to know. So electromagnetic radiations are radiation which are subjected to electric and magnetic field simultaneously. Okay, so here we have some of the characteristics of electromagnetic radiations or electromagnetic wave. What are those? So first, it is like it is subjected to electric and magnetic field, that already I told you. Second, they propagate perpendicular to each other. Third, they have the same speed as speed of light, that is they have a tendency to propagate through vacuum also. Okay, so electromagnetic wave, these radiations have different wavelength and different frequency. So on the basis of different wavelength, the frequency or different frequencies, they are going to show different wavelength, that is called to be as electromagnetic spectrum. So here we have electromagnetic spectrum. See, these are the electromagnetic spectrum. So on the basis of different frequencies of wavelength, it has different wavelength, means sometime the light which comes or which falls into the visible rays that we can see, sometime it falls over ultraviolet, or sometime it falls over x-rays, that is beyond our beyond the visible range, that's why we cannot see it. Okay, but mostly it falls over the visible range, that can be seen very easily. So these particle nature and wave nature. So first, particle nature is explained by scientists. The name of the scientist is called to be as Planck's. So whenever we are considering the wave nature of any matter, it is very well explained. The phenomenon like diffraction or interference, that is reflection or refraction. So first we have to know what do you mean by diffraction. So diffraction is what, whenever a wave coming near any object, it bends. Okay, or passing through any object, it bends. That is called to be as diffraction. Next is what? Next is interference. So interference is what? When two radiation of different wavelength coming in path of each other, it intermix. That is called to be as interference. And reflection or refraction, you already know about. So these all what? These all are show the particle nature of the wave. Okay, or particle nature of the light. But here we have, after giving these all things, we have many of the things which is not explained by this Planck's quantum theory. Okay, like black body radiation and photoelectric effect. So first we people should know what we mean by black body radiation and photoelectric effect. Students, actually these things are not in your portion, that's why I am just giving you a little explanation of these one, because only you people have to introduce with these term. Otherwise, whenever in future you are going to hear about these black body radiation and photoelectric effect, then you people are not going to know about that. That's why I am simply giving you a little information about these black body radiation and photoelectric effect, because mostly these light shows the nature, particle nature. But here if we will taking the particle nature of these light, so it do not explain the black body radiation or photoelectric effect. So first we have to know what you mean by black body radiation. So black body radiation, that is any body which is a perfect absorber or perfect emitter, is called to be as black body. And the radiation which is emitted by the black body is called to be as black body radiation. Like here we can take example, iron rod. If we are heating the iron rod, here the color of the iron rod slowly changes. First it becomes red in color, after some time it becomes more red on increasing the temperature, then after increasing the temperature the color of this one gets turned into yellow, then again on heating more it becomes white, and again on heating more at very high temperature the color goes to, or the color changes to blue. So here the observation is like that, कि whenever we are increasing the temperature, slowly the color is going to change. So here one times can come where the range is beyond the visible one, means the light, whatever the visible range in which we are coming to as the Vipure, here on increasing the temperature it should reach the range which cannot be seen. It means it may be ultraviolet range or something else, but it do not goes to that range. So why does it happens? Why it is only up to the visible range? After heating or after increasing the temperature, this one, these could not be explained by the particle nature of light. Okay, so it is also the drawback of, or because these theories are not explained, that's why these are taken as the drawbacks of the particle nature, which were explained more easily by the wave nature of light. Next we have photoelectric effect. So what do you mean by photoelectric effect? So it is the ejection of electron from the surface of metal when the light of suitable frequency fall on its surface. Like if you will be taking any of the plate of metal, and when light falls into the plate of the metal, what happen? The electron, we know that metal always has one or two free electron on that. So these free electron, they just absorb the energy and they become excited, and this electron can be ejected very easily. For the ejection of electron, mostly the one which is having very low ionization energy can lose its electron or eject electron very easily. So here what are the things which we observe for the photoelectric effect is that the electron are ejected from the metal surface as soon as the radiation fall on its surface. It do not take any time, only within the fraction of second the electron just come out from the metal surface. Okay. Second thing, for the ejection of electron, the radiation should possess certain minimum frequency of energy, that is called to be as threshold frequency, which is denoted as nu naught. Okay. Third is that every metal has different value of threshold frequency, because different metal has different ionization energy. So on the basis of their ionization energy, they need a minimum amount of frequency or threshold frequency which is needed for the ejection of electron. Next, that is the fourth one, kinetic energy of ejected electron is directly proportional to the frequency but independent of intensity. Fifth one, the number of electrons ejected are dependent upon the intensity or brightness of radiation and independent of frequency. Okay, so these are the observation that we can see for the photoelectric effect. When the light falls into the surface of metal, the ejection of electron takes place. So while the ejection of electron, these 5 points we people are observing. So, depending upon the photoelectric effect and the black body radiation, there was a scientist named Planck who came up with the new theory that is called to be a Planck's quantum theory of radiation. Because here all the thing is not explained by the particle nature of the light. These two theories not explained by these theory. That's why it could be explained with the help of wave nature of light. Okay, so these were given by Planck that we will do in the next class. For today we have this much only, students. These topics are little bit difficult because these all are related to the quantum mechanics, which is related to the physics also. To kindly please go through the book, NCRT book, and the whatever the refresher you are having. Or if you will be any doubt, then kindly please contact me, because it will be very difficult to understood that whether you people are listening or understanding whatever I am teaching or not, because it is only one sided. I cannot see your faces. So if you will be getting any doubt, then kindly please contact me, or you can call me. Then on call I will make you clear these all topics. Thank you so much for hearing me.